So figures that they would nerf characters like a couple days after I make the tier list, but they are big enough changes for me to actually go back over this. McCree is still very strong. They nerfed his right click, and it kind of just hurt the right click champions, but now the left click McCree's, they're still the same. Like, he's still going to um, land very powerful headshots. He's good from medium to long range still. His short range has changed just a bit, where he will chest shot, then flashbang headshot, most DPS. So he'll still kill primarily all the DPS with that. Tracer still can be a bit of a struggle for me, but I'm actually gonna move him down because of the nerf. He's no longer all around the slaughter all DPS and tank buster. So by him losing his tank buster aspects, I'm gonna move him down to tier 2. Widow, I don't know where I want to put Widow. I still think Widow is very, very strong. The problem is she's not being played now because it's kind of like the nerf syndrome where they nerf a character and nobody ever wants to fucking play the character anymore. So I still think, like I said, I still think she's a very strong character. It's just, I don't know if I want her in tier 2 or tier 3. I'm gonna put her in tier 3 right now. I'm gonna go with a nerf syndrome for now just because I'm not seeing her. And, you know, if she's not getting that headshot now, characters can get away from her. So for that reason, I'm going to put her in tier 3. Like I said, I need to play a little bit more scrims and see how I feel. I've yet to play against her in a scrim so far. Nobody's running her. People are now actually running the character that I hate the most in the game. They're running Roadhog, which we'll get to later. I'm gonna move Mercy up because, like I said, when I was doing the tier list, I didn't have a lot of experience with comps. It was a lot of pub experience, but in comp play, you know, dying on the point and getting like the 3 to 5 man res is basically like having a second life and then reinitiating on them while they're, because, you know, while they're fighting you on the point or where the hell they're fighting you at, they primarily blow all their ults, and then Mercy goes nope, and then she reses everybody and you just reinitiate and win the fight. So I'm gonna move Mercy up to 1 because I think she's just one of those necessary characters. Reinhardt's still gonna stay the same because they didn't touch him and he's still very, very strong, and you kind of just need Reinhardt on every team comp. Pharah, due to the nerfs to McCree and Widow, she's what's being run more now as DPS. She's a little bit more free to roam in the air and not worry about the, you know, headshot, body shot from Widow. Same thing with McCree, because a lot of people are now running, like, unfortunately, Roadhog, because people are now running Pharah, so they're going to run like Roadhog because, you know, again, I'll get the Roadhog later, but Pharah's gonna move up to 2 because she's stronger now because they nerfed her hardest counters, and I hate Pharah and I don't ever want to play her, but that's just my personal preference. I love Tracer. I wish I could move her up. I want to move her up, but she's not really playable on every situation, where tier 2, they're playable in almost every single situation. And she shines more on Koth, but if the map's not Koth, you're not really gonna see her on, like, payload defense. She's more, like, you'll see her on the hybrid payloads, where in King's Row, you know, it's not a payload, you have to cap the point, and then it's a payload. Like, you might see her in the hybrid a little bit more, but her not being ran in all the situations, at least in my experience right now, I'm gonna leave her at tier 3. Pretty much all tier 3 characters staying the same that were in there besides Widow moving down. And then, this pains me to talk about this, but I'm going to move Roadhog up to tier 3. I almost wish there was an in-between 2 and 3, because I'd put him in between 2 and 3. Like I said, his hardest counter is getting nerfed, and, you know, feeding Widow ult and McCree ult and all that shit, because he's just, you know, that's one of his weaknesses, right? He feeds the team ult. But, you know, they're not being ran as much now, so Roadhog is free to pretty much assassinate whoever the fuck he pulls, because this character is ridiculous. Like, that hook, I've been pulled through a floor today. Like, literally, they pulled me through a floor and killed me, and I was tilted, because I just hate this character. And now he's in the meta, and it makes me very sad. Zenyatta's gonna move up as well, for the same reasons as McCree and Widow were nerfed. He no longer... Well, he still gets... Still can, rather, get shit on by a Widow. It's still very easy to pop a Zenyatta, but not as much anymore. So he's a little bit more viable in that aspect. Tier 4, just the characters in here are going to remain the same. They weren't really affected by anything. They're still the same characters that they were when I talked about this last time. But thank you guys very much for watching. Subject to change, as always. The more... I just recently started scrimming, so when I get more knowledge from my scrims and whatnot, I might change this, but this is where I'm going to leave this list for now. But yeah, thank you for always watching, and love you guys. Peace.